You've seen the starting adapter that I made out of wood and MDF. For those who do not have a lathe, I have made the 3D printed version of the starter. In this day and age, I guess having a lathe or knowing someone that has a lathe is not as likely as having a 3D printer or knowing someone who has a 3D printer. This is not as deep as the MDF one. This hole centers on this little bit of crankshaft that sticks out. And the job of this ring is just to hold on to that rubber insert. Take a piece of cardboard and cut a disc out so we know what size that needs to be. You can use that to draw a circle on whatever you're using. These print flat on the 3D printer. There's no support required. The job of this is to hold this 5/16 bolt. I'm going to put a little epoxy in there and just a little bit around the bolt. And when I push that in there, that'll squeeze out and that'll take any play out of there. When I push on that, that will automatically become square. But you want to check it anyway and set it like this on a glass or something until that epoxy sets up. And you want to make sure that this is smooth in here. You don't want any epoxy sticking up above that. Just take an X-Acto blade, trim that up a little bit, take a drill bit and run it in there and make sure those holes are round. And when this epoxy is set up, you take this, push it on there. When this is on here, put a clamp on there, hold it tight, a little super glue in these 3 holes, a little super glue in a few spots around this back edge. I would chuck that up in the drill and spin it, take a little sandpaper and just smooth these edges a little bit, just to make sure there are no rough edges or anything. Take your rubber insert, put it in there. Before I glue this together, I'm going to cut the threads off of this. That'll be a lot easier for this chuck. The threads are cut off, the bolt was epoxied into this hub that was pushed in, super glued. Good idea to put arrows on here to remind yourself which way we're going to start this. I always start it from this side. I don't want to start it over here where this governor is. Check the rotation. The STL files for this will be a thing on Thingiverse under my name, and a link to that thing will be in the description for this video. Usually you don't need this, but if the engine hasn't run for a while, it's being a little temperamental, cold, this can be pretty handy. Now that this has several hours on it, I would say this has over 3 hours of running time. I can usually start it by hand now. Since shooting the first part of this video, I've gone back and redesigned this, and I've reduced the thickness of the rim. And that's so it has a little more clearance with the fuel tank on the horizontal hit and miss.